Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Merrill Production Outdoors. Today we're going to go in depth and talk about a hot controversy that is going on all the way across the country. You might have talked about this, you might know friends that's talked about this, and you might even seen some videos about it. And today we'll be talking about Creek Kings, the duo that was on YouTube from Ohio that just had their court settled with the verdict of them pleading guilty and their penalties that is substantially just high. But first, we're going to get into what exactly happened. For the last year, William Bethel and Justin Booth of Ohio was going around killing some phenomenal deer, huge deer that is once in a lifetime basically. And the way and methods that they were doing it is the most immoral, unsportsmanlike, and illegal that has ever really been seen in a long time. These guys were doing everything from hunting out of season, hunting without permits, using drones to be able to go and spot these deer and be able to get up on them and do a kill, an illegal kill. Now, this goes back to way back whenever I made a video talking about this. Talking about if you have a drone and you're using it for this, that, or the other, you eventually will get caught. And damn if it didn't happen, and damn if they didn't get in a situation that I talked about and made a video about this long ago. I also have criminal trespassing charges, which are just... It's crazy how much these guys have racked against them after doing something so ignorantly and deliberately knowing that it's illegal. Anybody that watches my channel, anyone that watches any of our guys' hunting channels, man, it doesn't matter who it is or what channel or personalities or personas or whatever it is. We're the ones that are making something that other people watch. Now, whenever I say that, the best thing that you can do if you're making something for everyone to watch is be legal 100% of the time. There's guys that I personally talked to about this through text messages and emails, and they're all across the country. And we are all in an unanimous decision and speaking to each other that these guys really need their asses handed to them. This is something that if we don't stop, as in... doesn't have quick repercussions, it will just keep going on. Yes, there is probably some poachers and outlaws to ever walk the earth in this going on. The problem is that if it doesn't get stopped immediately, it keeps happening. Which comes to what I'm making this about now. What I'm making this about now is these two guys knew what they were doing. They knew that they were going from here to there and there to here because, and here's the thing, the reason I don't say specific areas is because we don't know all the areas that they were. We do know that they have ties to people in Kentucky where they went and harvested some deer and they were claiming that they were from Kentucky. In reality, they were from Ohio and they never was registered. Cannot do that. That is illegal. These two guys... they used drones, they trespassed, they hunted out of season, didn't have a hunting license, permits, and all the proper equipment. Now, it's to the point that they got caught, and the law was served, and justice was prevailed here. It happened, and they knew that they did the wrong thing. They know that. How do we know how many deer were actually scouted, stalked, and killed with the uses of a drone? We would never know. No one will ever know everything except one thing. You might not know this drone operator, someone that has a drone, someone that uses it for recreational, just for fun, or for, like I do, and many of you that is watching this, for media and being able to make a series, a web series that is a DJI. Your remote has flight logs. The flight logs show you exactly where the GPS is done, went around. They'll even show you what direction you went, how high your altitude was or how low you was. They're going to show you everything. Because people that are ethical hunters and ethical content creators and people that make web series and hunting channel and hunting shows, look, they know who they are that does the right thing, and they also know who the ones that do some bad things are. So this isn't the first time anything like this has happened, especially from Ohio and up north. I could mention a bunch of names that, and some of these people all have shows on TV, but they know they did wrong and they got caught. You can't do something and expect to just get away with it without ever having repercussions. That's impossible. With the 40 combined wildlife charges that they had against them, the penalties are very steeply, and in quote, I will go through them. The penalties that these two boys had to pay was around $37,000, sentenced to 9 days in jail, with a suspension of 531 days of hunting, period. Also, they were put on a 5-year probation ban from Columbus and Franklin County, Ohio metro parks, and was stripped of all hunting privileges for the next 5 years. Now just think about that. For the next 5 years, right now we're going into the 2026 to 2027 hunting season. Deer season is just right around the corner, literally. Now, these guys will not be able to do it for the next 5 years, which means in 2031, these guys will be back on the prowl to go back to hunting. Now, what will they do? How are they going to act? How are they going to portray themselves? Opportunity to go back? I have no idea. I really do not know. I do know this. I do know that the penalties and all of the things, and I'm sure I'm not quoting everything that happened because, number one, it's hard to try to find all that information at one time. This thing's only been settled for 7 days. I waited 1 week and collected as much information as I could to be able to produce this. And the more people that kept reaching out to me and talking to me about this, I said, well, I have to do some kind of video, obviously. Now, some people are going to say that these boys didn't get hardly any kind of repercussions. Some are going to say that they had a whole bunch. Me personally, I think that it's a pretty good start to a punishment. Is it all the way what I think should happen? No, but I'm not a jury. I'm not the judge that on just what they got. Really and truly, I think that this ought to teach them a good lesson about doing this. I hate that it puts a bad taste in the mouth for people that hunt, man, because other people that's going to be out there just watching this, they're going to think that we're a whole bunch of idiots, and that's not the case. The case is that we had two idiots that went out there and did some of the most stupidest, vile things that you could to wildlife and to people's property. Some people are going to say, well, Quentin, what does this have to do with you since you're in Mississippi and that's in Ohio? Guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I've been creating outdoor content for the last 2 years. 2 years before that, I was just playing around with phones and filming through binoculars just to try to have a little bit of content to show my friends and family and everybody else. I now understand what it really means to make outdoor content on a level of professionalism. Am I saying that I'm the most professional person out here or I'm the best creator? No, I am not. There is a lot more people way better than me, way better. But I can tell you this wholeheartedly, and I know for a fact, is that if you're doing wrong, you're doing illegal, and you know you're going to do it anyway, do not be surprised whenever you get caught and the repercussions catch up with you tenfold. I really think that these guys took something as good as drone technology, something that was used for good, and they took it out of good and used it for evil. They used it for bad, horrible things that should never happen on any front, on anyone's property. It doesn't matter where you are. If you're in the continental United States, Alaska, or Hawaii, let me tell you something. You always respect your boundaries. You always respect the people that is around you, your neighbors, your friends, your family, your fellow hunters. You always show respect. I said this in the last video whenever I was talking about these drones. Man, if you don't know how to respect other people, don't even buy one. Don't even use it. Don't operate it. If you don't know right from wrong and being able to use common sense to keep you and other people out of problems, do not buy one, do not own one. And it's just sad. I hate that, you know, the people that had to go through this. I hate that the animals that they killed illegally had to be unalived. But, you know, I really think that this is an eye-opening experience for other people, especially other content creators. Man, before you just go jump in a lens with them, you might want to do a little bit of studying on them, which I have done a few different collaborations with people through videos. But hey, look, I've always tried to watch them for a long time before I did it. In fact, this is one of them. But to tell you boys and girls how I feel about this and wrapping this thing up, hey, look, if you know you're doing wrong, you're going to get caught. Don't be surprised whenever you get caught. And to the ones that are out there that's doing the right thing, stay doing the right thing. You know whenever you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing. And I guess that's going to wrap this one up for Merrill Production Outdoors. I'm glad that you stayed along this long to be able to watch how the outcome was. Thank y'all for watching. God bless. And we're going to see you in the outdoors soon. Goodbye.